In this session, we'll begin the drawing of the floor plan shown here. Rather than using the Start from Scratch option, we will select the Use a Wizard option this time. And then we'll select the Quick Setup Wizard option, followed by clicking on the OK button. Since we'll be drawing a floor plan, we'll use the Architectural Unit of Measurement option, followed by clicking on the Next button. We'll now set the width to 60 feet and the length to 40 feet. These values define the extent over which the grid will be displayed. AutoCAD also refers to them as the limits of our drawing. After making sure that the correct values of 720 inches by 480 inches are shown on the symbolic sheet, we'll click on the Finish button. We now need to change the grid and snap intervals, so we'll select the Tools drop-down menu, followed by selecting the Drafting Settings option. We'll change both the X and Y snap spacing values to 6 inches, as well as the spacing values of the grid. We'll now click on the OK button in order to establish these settings. To activate the grid and snap options, we'll now click on their respective buttons in the status bar. In order to view the entire limits of the grid, we'll now click and hold the left mouse button while it is positioned on the Zoom window icon. And then move down and select the Zoom All icon. We'll now define the attributes of the multi-line object that will be used to draw the walls of our floor plan. This is done by selecting the Format drop-down option and then clicking on the Multi-line Style option. In the Multi-line Style window, we'll click on the New button and then key in the name Wall as the new style name, followed by clicking on the Continue button. We'll now enter the description of the lines, followed by clicking on the boxes to cause end caps to be placed at both ends of the lines. We'll next change the distance between the parallel lines by highlighting the first element and then moving the cursor into the Offset window and entering a value of 2.5. And then we'll repeat this process in order to set the second element's offset to be negative 2.5, followed by clicking on the OK button. We'll now click on the Set Current button, followed by clicking on the OK button. In order to begin drawing the outline of our floor plan, we'll select the Multi-line option from the drop-down menu. Now we'll left-click in order to define the start point, followed by moving the cursor to the left and then again left-clicking after we see the 11 feet 6-inch value displayed. In order to define the vertical line, we'll key in the relative coordinate command at 0, 25 feet 6 inches and then press the Enter key. For the top horizontal line, we'll key in at 30 feet, 0, and then press the Enter key. For the vertical line on the right side, we'll key in at 0, negative 30 feet, followed by the Enter key. In order to define the next horizontal line, we'll key in at negative 14 feet, 9 inches, 0, and then press the Enter key. For the last line, we'll key in at 0, 11 feet, followed by pressing the Enter key. We'll now right-click the mouse and select the Enter option. In this session, we'll draw the interior walls of the floor plan that we began in the previous session. To do this, we'll move the cursor into the standard toolbar and then right-click the mouse. We'll now left-click on the Object Snap option, which causes the toolbar to be displayed. Now we'll click on the multi-line icon in the drawing toolbar and then right-click the mouse while it's in the drawing window to display the pop-up window shown here. We'll select the Justification option, which allows us to change the definition point at the end of the multi-lines. Now by right-clicking again, the next pop-up window is displayed. We'll select the option Bottom. We'll now pick the Snap to Midpoint icon on the Object Snap toolbar, and then click on the left side of the vertical multi-line. We'll define the other end of the line by keying in at 10 feet, 0, followed by the Enter key. And now we'll key in at 0, 9 inches. Now we'll right-click the mouse and select the Enter option to end the multi-line command. Our next step is to define a single line that represents a door. This is done by first selecting the line icon in the drawing toolbar. And now we'll click on the Snap to Endpoint icon in the Object Snap toolbar. We'll now click at the top right corner of the multi-line that we just created in order to define the start point of the line that will represent the door. Now we'll key in at 0, 2 feet, 8 inches and press the Enter key. And then click the right mouse button and select the Enter option to end the line command. Our next step is to draw another interior wall. We'll start this process by clicking on the multi-line icon and then right-click the mouse and select the Justification option. We need to change the justification setting to Top, so we'll now click Right and select that option. The vertical multi-line that we are about to create should start 10 feet from the upper left corner of the floor plan, so we'll now select the Snap From icon and then click on the upper left corner of our floor plan. We'll now key in an offset value of at 10 feet, 0. Now we'll click on the Snap to Endpoint icon and then click on the top of the vertical line that represents the door. We'll now click the right mouse button and then select the Enter option to end the multi-line command. In order to clean up the drawing where the interior and exterior walls connect, we'll make use of the Modify option, Multi-line. We'll select the Open T Edit Tool option by clicking on its figure and then click on the OK button. Now we'll turn off the Snap option to make it easier to select the multi-lines. The first multi-line selected will be the one that is trimmed, so we start by selecting an interior wall. And then we'll click on the intersecting exterior wall. We'll now repeat the process for the other intersection location. We'll now right-click and select the Enter option to end the multi-line edit process. After defining our other interior walls and editing the intersection locations, our drawing will appear as shown here. In this session, we'll illustrate how layers can be used to organize different types of design information. We'll continue working on the drawing of the floor plan that we created in the previous two sessions. In order to display information about the layers in our drawing, we'll click on the Layers icon. As we can see, the only layer that currently exists is Layer 0. This is a default layer that geometry is placed on unless the user creates additional layers. We'll now create a new layer on which the bathroom fixtures will be placed. We do this by first clicking on the New button. Now we'll key in the name Bathroom to replace the default name assigned by AutoCAD. In order to change the color of the objects that will be drawn on this layer, we'll click on the color square. Now we'll select the color Cyan and then click on the OK button. In order to cause the objects that we are about to create to lie on our new layer, we'll now click on the Current button followed by clicking on the OK button. As we can see, Bathroom is listed in the Current Layer window along with its icons that indicate visibility, status, color, and so forth. Now we'll click on the Zoom Real-Time icon and then press and hold down the left mouse button while moving the cursor up. To stop the zoom process, we'll now click on the Escape key. We'll now click on the Pan icon and then reposition the floor plan, followed by pressing the Escape key to end the Pan option. The first object that we'll draw will be a rectangle that represents the outline of the bathtub. We'll start by clicking on the rectangle icon. And then we'll click